they are saying is, how do people know that you come from a particular area? Now, in 1999, don't forget, in 1999, under President Obasanjo, there was what they call 13% oil derivation meant to develop oil-producing communities. And in honor of that, James Ibori of Delta State commissioned what they call the Delta State Oil Producing Development Commission, Area Commission. That's the SOPADEC. In Imo State, they have it. In all those states, they equally have it. But what happened to River State? And don't forget, in River State, the Ijaw ethnic nationality, they are the key stakeholders in the oil and gas industry. And so what happened to Rivers oil producing area? 13% for over the years. We don't know where that 13% derivation to develop oil producing communities. We don't know where the funds are. So
you're asking this administration that question?
I said for all these years, this administration, don't forget, it's just about a year and some months. So I said for all these years, we don't know where the money, that 30% oil derivation has been diverted to. And so, as an Ijaw man who comes from one of the oil producing communities, we expect him to look into that 1999 is in the constitution that give room for government to form a commission that will manage the 30% derivation meant to develop oil producing communities. And so we expect the governor to graciously utilize that 30% by forming or inaugurating a commission in River State to tackle issues that has to do with oil producing communities in developing those areas. And these are some of the key areas that we, the Rivers Ijaw Youth Coalition, we are interested in. To speak truth to power, x-ray his policies. If his policies are faulty, we'll tell him to his face. Because we will not manage it because he's an Ijaw man. Because when we begin to pamper it or handle it with kid gloves, it will go wrong. And at the end of the day, Rivers people will say, we've given you an Ijaw governor, and this is what you people were able to get. Either good governance or bad governance. And so, but in doing that, as Ijaw people, we must at all times stand firm to say, this is wrong, this is right. This is not ethnic. This is not time to play ethnic jingoism. This is time for governance and respecting the position of every ethnic nationality. Same time, being very grateful to that man who has shown so much equality in governance by recognizing every ethnic nationality in the River State and equally obeying what they call the riverine upland dichotomy, acknowledging the Rivers Ijaw people to succeed him as governor.
So if we paint this picture you're painting now, doesn't that promote division along the lines of ethnicity?
It doesn't.
Should anybody who assumes a position of leadership be there because they deserve it, they merit it, or should be there because they come from a place? And if that's on one side, on the other side, if you say, is the governor a governor of the Ijaws or a governor of River State?
He is the governor of River State.
So
but he comes from a place. He comes from a place.
You are making the case that...
And the advantage of having him...
So you're saying that the place he comes from should get more development than other areas? Not
at all. The advantage of having him should be well harnessed. That is the point. And what we mean is this. This is what is the constitution. A board to develop certain areas. It's in the constitution there. And so what we mean is, as Ijaw people, we shouldn't be promoting ethnic divide. Rather, we should speak to the governor and tell him areas where he's going wrong, so that he can sit up and begin to do what is right in terms of governance, and equally not begin to cast aspersion on other ethnic nationality or previous government because we have an Ijaw son who is the governor. That is the point. So what we are saying, our position is not to promote ethnic division, rather to balance the politics in the state. that if society is doing wrong, will come out and say what you're doing is wrong. If an individual is going wrong, will say an individual has done wrong. And it doesn't promote peace, unity. It doesn't. It won't bring development in this time. Don't forget, in the absence of peace, unity, it is very difficult for individuals, for governments to bring sustainable development to bear. And so, the group is to change the narrative about the Ijaw people that we are ingrates. Is to change the narrative about the Ijaw people that we do not have what it takes.
All right. Let me ask you this. At the moment, we are aware of the political situation. Let's start with the most trending statement, the one coming from Martin Amayole about CTCs being arrested, CTC chairmen being arrested. What is the take of Ijaw Youth Coalition and the Ijaw youths in general with regards to that position?
You see, this matter is a constitutional matter, and we should be very careful when issues has to do with constitution, because it is the same constitution that governs you and I, and so we are not outlaws in this Nigerian state. And if we must accept the fact that we are part of this country called Nigeria, then we should align ourselves with the norms, principles, and tenets of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The Supreme Court has given a verdict as relates CTC, in fact, local government administration, which is the primary, in fact, which is you and I focus, because that is our locality. How our locality is being governed and developed is our own priority. And so as a group, we stand by the Supreme Court judgment. If the Supreme Court judgment does not recognize CTC and say it is unconstitutional, is illegal, then the government of the should obey that.
So so
the decision or the position made by the 10th Assembly is very correct, because illegality is still ongoing in our various localities, and so they should obey the rule of law.
So in other words, all right, we'll take a commercial shortly, but this is a question because we also hear about a division within the Ijaw groups, some for the FCT minister, some for the governor of Rivers State. We'll come to that response immediately after this commercial. Right. Please stay with us.
The show continues after this break.
for the Rivers Ijaw Youth Coalition, Edward Asikitams, was also supposed to speak with the Chief of Staff, IYC National President, but unfortunately we were not able to connect with him via phone. We'll continue trying. As soon as we do, we'll also be getting his thoughts on some of the things that you've also heard my guest in the studio here point out. And one of them he says is, because the governor of Rivers State is from the Riverine, doesn't mean that those from the Riverine cannot or should not tell him what he needs to do or what he's not doing well. And for him, he says, well, we're not satisfied with what is happening so far with regards to his policies and developmental plans and projects that he's carrying out. And we also expect that because he's from the Riverine, yes, we do not want him to put the Riverine first, but the Riverine ought to benefit immensely and from him being the governor. So I was asking what the position is with regards to the CTC, and he says it's a constitutional matter and the constitution should be obeyed. We'll come back to that, but let me remind those who are watching, wherever you are, we are streaming live on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Do well to go there, join the conversation, click on the share button as well. Drop your comments. I'll be taking some of your comments and contributions on Facebook now before my guest continues on his line of thought. Again, the handle on Facebook is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Do well to also click on the share button. This one says, for me, that group is faceless. Eddie Owuje. Pedro Bassel says, must everyone support the government which have no bearing? We are all entitled to our opinion and decisions. For me, this governor is the worst governor. Thank God Ability says, the FCT Wike had ruled Rivers State for 8 years solidly and nobody distracted him for 8 solid years. So let's allow governor rule for 8 years without any distraction and peace in Rivers State, and then we shall see what he does. Clever Sonny says it's high time RIC members stop supporting the FCT minister that is calling for thunder and fire. Okay. That's from Clever Sonny on Facebook. So keep your comments coming in on Facebook or streaming live. Remember to keep the messages very short so I can easily take them and they do not get overtaken by other messages. Mr. Asikitams, quickly, you had some of the comments, but back to the situation at the local government level. You had said, well, it's a constitutional matter. That noted. But we are hearing reports of division at the grassroots level and even protests happening quietly. There are people who are already talking, and there is the talks of division between those supporting the administration that's in power now and those supporting the former administration of former governor who is now FCT minister. In the Rivers Ijaw coalition, is it a common front, or are these divisions true, even up to the level of the IYC?
Well, I wouldn't want to speak further about the division in IYC because it's one platform we hold to a very.
But there are divisions.
But then it is.
If it's in public domain, there's nothing. There's nothing we can do.
In IYC, it is the perspective of some misguided youths. So when you say IYC is your umbrella body. Okay, so that's why I say
some members in the IYC are not on the same page. That's why I started with the question: pressure groups, should they be separated from politics?
Let me say
but it looks as though that it is more political than trying to ensure that you get a government to do the right thing.
On the 24th of June precisely, don't forget, 18th of June, 18th of June, there was a directive made by the IG restricting the executive chairman and the city.
Nobody going to the council.
Exactly.
And that's what it is still now.
Directing the Nigerian police to take over the various councils across the 23 counties of the state. And we got a feeler that some persons were planning to protest against the state of the police. And don't forget, because it is the 17th, 18th, across the 23 local governments, the both parties, the both factions were mobilizing to cause havoc in our various localities, our various communities. And so getting that directive from the IG sufficed the tension. And so when we got information, some persons were protesting, were plans to protest against the stay of the police, whose stay has been beneficiary to the ordinary man and woman who does not have any political connect, neither security coverage. And so we came in my local government because IYC, in fact, ordinarily IYC is an apolitical platform whose aim is to project peace, unity, and development across Ijaw communities. And so Akuga citizens came all out, all concerned Akuga citizens, irrespective of the platform you belong to say, see, the essence of the duty of the police to protect lives and property of citizens. And so their stay here, not allowing A or B to gain entrance to the local government council secretariat, is enough for the peaceful coexistence of all Akugans. And so concerned Akugans came all out to say, see, police, continue to stay. We are in support of your stay in this council secretariat so that business can thrive. You see, that's why I say some misguided Ijaw youth tends to take it too personal with parochial sentiment. And because of that, I'm the chairman. I'm not just chairman of Calabar Sekpange. I'm chairman of the Clan Chairmen Forum in the zone. As we have 20 clans, I'm the chairman of that forum. I midwife that forum. Because of then the faction in the zone under our immediate past president, Peter Timothy Bifa. And so I brought the clan chairman, especially clans that do not have faction because of circumstances we find ourselves at that point in time. So because of that, some misguided persons called for meeting as induced by one or two persons that they are removing me as the chairman of the forum. And that's laughable.
You're saying that was what is responsible for the reports we got about. It's not entirely about politics or who is supporting FCT minister or supporting the governor of Rivers State. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, so it's
is that what you are saying? Are you saying that what you're saying now is that the clash or the protest and all that we heard has to do with an internal leadership problem within?
Not problem. The protest is as a result of people supporting citizens supporting the state of police, of the Nigerian police in
and the council secretary.
Yes. And so some persons felt those persons are not supposed to, especially our job people, that such protests in support of the state police and council secretariat is not supposed to take place. That we are supposed to ask the police, we are supposed to make a protest to remove the police from the council secretariat against the order of the Nigerian police force, of the Inspector General of the Nigerian police force, against the constitution that governs you and I. And some of us said no, because every area, every locality has its peculiarity and a different way to handle it. And so we are equally aware, those of us who are residents in Rivers State are aware that there are some communities that are flashpoints of political violence. And Akukutor, or my own community, Abonima, tends to be one. And so we know how to handle such matters. And calling or asking the police to stay in protecting the council secretariat for the peaceful coexistence of Akugans is the best way to go. So that's why I said it is some misguided persons who, in fact, from the ab initio of the 2019 election, never ever supported an Ijonama to be governor, but rather they are Ijaw people. But they prefer supporting an Ogoni man or an Ikwere man to be governor. They never supported same. They never supported neither of their ethnic, neither of candidates from the Ijaw extraction to be governor. But because of the political divide between the FCT minister and incumbent governor, they tend to take it as an advantage or as a leverage to begin to bring parochial sentiment into
Let's go to the phone lines and hear what the listener has to say about your position. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. Many say that, well, the groups are now becoming more political and leaning towards political, in quote, godfathers. That's the popular opinion. And, well, you have said it's a pressure group. That's what we are. And our role will be as a pressure group to ensure we get government at different times to do what is right. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. Chris Israel on Facebook says, please, where was this group when the previous administration did little or nothing for the riverine areas and didn't tell the former governor the truth that he needs to know? The group is misguided and, for me, faceless. This is not part of IYC. Bob Chinda says this coalition is not different from the devil's advocate role that the APC led by Tony Okocha is playing and the state at large, simply to distract the governor and cause divide in the Ijaw Youth Congress, and we know who their sponsor is. Stanley says, good morning. I'm watching from Iberia Muma. Okay, that's the most you said. All right. It's high time RIC members stop supporting the FCT minister and call. Okay, I think we already took that before from Clever Sonny. Quickly, JJ from Rumigbo. Let's endeavor to keep it straight to the point and short.
Andrew,
yes,
good morning. And let me tell you,
Good morning.
at the time I have to check the channel. I thought it was a comedy channel. He talked about promoting ethnic divide, but he has not done anything different from what he said is not promoting. At the time, and I can count them, if not for time, you have the Tankala Bayero, you have the your so many other projects going on, and you are here telling me, oh, you should not forget. I don't understand at all. Because your own talk is not clear. When they ask you this, you go to another side, they ask you right to left. Then for the police, are you also aware that the police also said nobody should protest on that day? You still condemn it.
JJ, you're breaking off. We can't really get you clearly. Although we got some part of what you said, unfortunately, we have to move on. It's not really clear from your end. David is in Yenagoa. Good morning.
Yes, greetings from the city of Yenagoa.
Okay,
My name
David.
is David West. As a matter of fact, I think I choose to agree with your guest to an extent. For me, the Nigerian Police Force being at the Council Secretariat is not out of place. It is for peace and tranquility to be maintained, so that we don't go there and throw dynamite at the Secretariat or destroy the Secretariat and spend taxpayers' money to rebuild another one. So that people don't go there and die and will begin to complain that the police is not proactive, they are rather reactive. Until that issue is being settled, let the police remain there. For me, I don't want to add ethnic sentiment into it. My paramount concern is governance in Rivers State. Governance in Rivers State must not suffer. The people are lacking dividends of democracy. Go to our rural communities. People are suffering. Port Harcourt or Rivers State is not only Port Harcourt Township. What about the rural communities, the local government? So for me, the governor must wake up, put up his thinking cap, and know that he has 4 years to govern and give to the people the needed development. Thank you.
Enoch from Andoni. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm Comrade Enoch.
Go on. We go
Calling
ahead.
from Andoni, the Chief of Staff to Dingo Clan Chairman, IYC. Yeah, I want to comment of what happened there. Andrew, please, I have one question to ask your guest. Ask your guest, among all the 20 clans that he calls, can I name the chairman one by one?
We don't have all the time.
Andoni, because Andoni is an Ijaw. And also, I want to pitch something to you, Andrew. Please, connect the National Chief of Staff to the IYC, Mr. Comrade Mkpon, so that I should be on the program.
He was supposed to be on the show. Unfortunately, we're not able to get to his line because I think he sent a message say it was airborne, and that's the problem. But we'll definitely have him also to respond to some of these issues. Thank you, Enoch.
Most of what our friend here is talking is some of things there is not correct. Some of many things I say is not correct.
All right.
If by chance, let me just make one point for you. One, I told you to ask him to name all the clans that he said is a chairman of all.
Make the point. We don't have time.
One. Two, I want to doubt in that Ijaw,
You say that. Let's go to JJ. Sorry, Enoch. I think you got interrupted by your service provider.
Yeah. Hello.
JJ, one quickly.
Yeah, you can hear me clearly, right?
Yes.
Yes, I was saying that the man in the studio is putting ethnic sentiment. From his statement, double standard and everything, and he talked about supporting the Martin's lawmakers. And you know that the Constitution that you always quote and the law have also said that if you leave your party, you lose your seat. These are the same people that are also struggling to come back to the back door to the party they left before. Meanwhile, the whole world see them. And
all right, JJ. JJ, thank you. I already took some of the messages on Facebook. Let me quickly come to you. We have under 3 minutes to wrap this up. August 1, protests. The presidency has said the youths should not protest, that, well, they're working on tackling some of these issues. But the hunger protest is one that's been all over social media. What's your position on this? And do we see a situation where Ijaw youths also join in on this protest at all levels, looking at the economic situation of the country?
Well, for me, I'm not a fan of Mr. President. But then our major interest is the economic growth of the nation. And from what he inherited at the time he came into office, there is difference. There is gradual growth. And so for if you ask my advice, I would advise our Ijaw people, Rivers people, the Niger Delta people, and the Nigerian youth to be patient.
Because we have heard Alhaji Asari Dokubo on different social media posts, lamenting and telling the president that this was not what the Ijaws asked for. This is not what we expected, and this is how things are turning, and it's not nice. And if it is not fixed, people would stand up. The Ijaws will stand up. Could the protest we are hearing be that stand up?
Well, the hunger is everywhere. The hunger is everywhere, and it's actually not friendly. But then, if we do protest, that's solve the problem we are facing as a country. And so what we need to do, for me, is for us to be patient. This is just 1 year and some months. And from what we feel, there is progress in the economy. Dollar at the initial was...
The dollar is 1.6 now. It was around 1.8 and it came down to about 1.2 and then now it's 1.6. It's going up again.
Okay, so and he has signed to bill the minimum wage, and so you see that there is an attempt in solving this problem gradually, and so we should be patient enough to see how he brings up his development plan. But then, if you look at this protest, for me, it's political. It's political. Atiku Abubakar from recent statement in support of this protest. So if you understand the undertone of this protest,
but we have similar in 2012.
Politicians who are not on the same page with Mr. President.
We had similar in 2012 when Goodluck was in office. It was led by this president.
This same person. Yeah.
So was it political then?
Yes, it's political. In this country, it's very unfortunate.
We have to wrap it up now.
Everything that concerns the
Asikitams, thank you, but we have to wrap it up now for a commercial. Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, Mama me.
My